Alright, moving away from federal level data. Our main source for New York State data is the New York State GIS Clearinghouse. This can be accessed via the link on our guides or directly through the URL listed here. You do not need to click this from a library website. As you are looking through data, you will see a padlock image next to datasets. If the padlock is unlocked, this is great news. You can browse, download, and use the data freely. However, if it is locked, you will need a password to access the data. However, we do have a password for UB I share with students and faculty. If you ever need the password, email me and I will share it with you. It is changed roughly every 90 days, so if the password you have isn't working, we probably have a new one. Sometimes the data description shows up and it doesn't have a padlock image at all, but the data isn't there either. A contact should be listed instead. You can use this contact information to ask about obtaining the dataset. For example, I was browsing the clearinghouse last week and I saw a dataset available from the city of Lackawanna. If you aren't too familiar with the region south of us, it is a city that borders Buffalo right next to South Park Lake and the Botanical Gardens. This is a small city, and I was actually quite surprised to see they had data up. Of course, I clicked into the description and saw a contact listed instead. If I needed the data, I would have then reached out to him for it. You can see here that the New York State GIS Clearinghouse looks very similar to other sites we've reviewed so far. You can browse by organization, dataset name, sector, and search within the results. A link to Cougar is included. This is the GIS data repository hosted by Cornell, which is also a good stop if you are looking for New York State level data. There are some great local data resources I'd like to make you aware of as well. Most counties have a GIS office or a GIS professional on the payroll. We link to local GIS offices on our Maps and Mapping Resources from Government Agencies library guide. There is an office for Erie County. Users are able to view their data on an ArcGIS web map viewer. The system is robust and allows users to view data and export maps from their tool. It is similar to other tools, and as it doesn't allow direct download of datasets, we won't go into detail with it today. However, I do want to highlight Open Data Buffalo and the Great Lakes Commission GIS datasets. Please do remember to always visit local government sites and find a GIS professional for the municipality if you can't find the data online. They may have it and be willing to share it. Open Data Buffalo is a great website to visit for data specifically about the city of Buffalo. It is extremely user-friendly and is the only place to find some really unique information. I'm actually quite bummed because I was scheduled to attend a class presented by the folks that run Open Data Buffalo, but like many other events this spring, it was postponed. I look forward to meeting with them eventually to learn more about what data they are adding and other features of the website. You can see there are many areas to explore on this site. Today we are going to click into geospatial data, but if you aren't finding what you need here, please do explore the other areas as the statistics the city makes available here can be converted for use in your GIS. Let's click into geospatial. Many of this data is unique and not something you will find with data.gov, New York GIS repository, or other sites. For example, there is a dataset for locations of Buffalo Police Department districts, and one I find interesting, areas in the city with bike lanes. You can view the data on their online GIS viewer, or download it in a variety of formats. I love Open Data Buffalo because it is so user-friendly. Many of the sites I highlighted today make it easy to get to a page with the dataset. But once you are there, you may find yourself floundering for a moment as you try to find the actual file. You may get to the page to realize you are downloading a CSV or Excel document and may need to take some extra steps to make your data GIS friendly and add it to your project. However, with Open Data Buffalo, you are immediately presented a nice list of options for downloading the data, including as a shapefile. The open data movement, or the move to make some data freely available to everyone to use without copyright restriction, is very big in government right now. If you are working on a project for a big city, check if they publish their data in a similar fashion to Open Data Buffalo. Examples of other cities with an open data initiative are New York City, Toronto, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Boston, and Chicago. Moving back to a local focus, I want to bring up the Great Lakes Commission website. They publish data about all American and Canadian Great Lakes and their surrounding regions. Data sets include geographic boundaries, bathymetric data, hydrologic unit codes, fishery, spawning location, etc., birds, bird stops, bird surveys, and data about commercial activity on the lakes. We've covered quite a few places to find data, and you might be feeling inspired. If you're looking for ideas for great ways to use data with GIS, check out Story Maps from Esri. They recently released a new website, but I actually prefer the classic view as it is easier to navigate. This link will be included in the resource list. You can see here I clicked Planning and Design under Subject to see ways people have used GIS in their own planning projects. Businesses and governments have created web pages highlighting how GIS helped them efficiently use their data in decision-making and planning. That's all for me today. I hope you learned some useful starting points and don't feel too overwhelmed when it comes to finding data for your work with GIS. Please do reach out to me if you need any help. I hope you all are healthy and safe and have a productive remainder of your semester.